Hi, this is Dwayne again, and I'd like to talk a little more about diminished seventh chords because they have so many qualities. I think I showed you there's only 3 diminished seventh chords, those 3. And that encompasses all 12 notes of the diatonic scale, doesn't it? That's 4 of them, 4 more, 4 more. 3 times 4 is 12. So we use all the notes of the scale, and therefore any note of that chord can be called the root of that chord. In other words, that's E flat diminished because it has E flat diminished seventh because it has an E flat in it. That's G flat diminished seventh, or it's F sharp diminished seventh, or it's D sharp diminished seventh, or it's C diminished seventh, or it's A diminished seventh. All of that is true, isn't it? It's like if you were the same person but had many different nicknames. Okay, people called you Sam and Shorty and Bud, and you know you had 4 or 5 or 6 different nicknames. You'd be the same person though, and that's it. That's the same person. It just had a lot of names. So that's one person, that's another person, and that's another person, just a half step away from each other. And that's all the diminished seventh chords there are. Now we said if we lower any one note of a diminished seventh chord, we get a dominant seventh chord. Okay, and that's useful because a dominant seventh chord wants to go someplace. It wants to modulate up a fourth, doesn't it? What's a fourth up from B? To go to E, doesn't it? So we can get to E that way. Say we're playing in C and we get the diminished seventh chord and we lower one note from C to B, then we have an E chord, right? Or if we want to go to G, we lower the E flat to D, and that'll take us right to G because the 5/7 chord of G is D7. You get that? Okay, so if you lower any one note of a diminished seventh chord, you get a dominant seventh. Now, if you raise any one note of a diminished seventh, guess what you get? You get a minor 6 chord. That's a minor 6 chord. Okay, let's raise another note. Raise E flat to E. That's a minor 6 chord too. It's inverted, of course. That's A minor 6. They're all going to be inverted except one, of course. Okay, but it's a minor 6 chord. If I raise the G flat to G, that's a C minor 6 chord, isn't it? Okay, and if I raise A to B flat, that's a minor 6. That's E flat minor 6, isn't it? So if you want to get to a minor 6 chord, all you need to do for a diminished seventh chord is raise one of the 4 notes. Okay. So if you lower one of the 4 notes, you get a dominant seventh chord. If you raise one of the 4 notes, you get a minor 6 chord. Now, what if you raise 2 notes of a diminished seventh chord? Let's say let's raise the 2 inside notes. You get a 6 chord. That's C6. Let's raise the 2 outside notes. That's G flat 6. Say we'll raise the top, the 2 bottom ones. That's A6, isn't it? Let's raise the 2 top ones. That's E flat 6. So if you raise any 2 notes from a dominant seventh chord, you get a major 6 chord. Remember, if we raise one note, we get a minor 6 chord. But if you raise 2 notes, you get a major 6 chord. Now, what if you lower 2 notes? Well, let's lower the top and the bottom. What do you get? You still get a 6 chord, don't you? If you lower any 2 notes of a diminished seventh chord, you get a major 6 chord, just like if you raise 2 notes. So either way you go with 2 notes, you get a major 6 chord. So if we raise, let's see, if we lower the bottom note, say in the second note, what do we get? We get a 6 chord, don't we? Okay, and a major 6 chord. If we let's lower the middle 2, that's F6, right? How about if we lower, say, the top and the second one? Okay, that's A flat 6. They're always going to be inverted except for one, right? So just to summarize, if you lower any one note of a diminished seventh chord, you get a dominant seventh chord. If you raise any one note of a diminished seventh chord, you get a minor 6 chord. If you raise any 2 notes or lower any 2 notes, you get a major 6 chord. Okay? Now there's lots of food for thought in this, so I want you to spend a lot of time just trying that out on those 3 chords. Take all 3 chords and do make those transformations. Those are advanced transformations, and they're really great for improvisation and for modulation, okay, and transposition too. So go to work and see what you can discover there. There's a lot more that I haven't talked about that you can discover. It's kind of the doorway to the infinite almost. So take your time and explore those 3 chords, and you'll find magical doors there. So thanks, and we'll see you again soon.